Many of us know that just getting older can impact our hormone levels, but especially in America, stress can also upset the balance, making way for several health problems. Please welcome back Dr. Stephen Hotze with the Hotze Health and Wellness Center. He's also the author of Hormones, Health, and Happiness. And his patient, Sherry Good, who's all good now. She suffered from years with fatigue and headaches. And so did you go from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor trying to figure out what it was?
Oh, absolutely. But it wasn't always that way. I had real good health, good cycles, was a happy person. You couldn't write a Lifetime movie about me. I mean, it was pretty good. And in my 30s, endured some very heavy stresses, just very devastating.
Things like?
Yeah, well, just, you know, death in the family, things of that nature. That was when my health deteriorated after that. And things like cycles went haywire, became very fatigued, anemic, headaches, fatigue, just muscle tension. Went through the revolving door of doctors. Every single one said that there's nothing wrong with you. I don't know why you're here. You don't know how many times I've killed myself off in a waiting room in a doctor's office thinking they're going to come out and tell me it's the big one. I mean, it was just, it got that bad.
Right.
And just after a while, I mean, this went on for years, just the fatigue. After a while, it was just like Weekend at Bernie's, just prop her up and everybody think Mom's still here, but just dead inside.
Yeah, Dr. Hotze, the hard part is if we can't nail something with a particular disease and say, and here's the medicine you take for it, then it's, I can't find anything, I don't think anything's wrong with you. But as we've mentioned many times before, stress can play a big role in upsetting the body, and I think sometimes we underestimate that.
Well, it really does, and it has to do with our adrenal glands. Everybody has heard of adrenaline, that maybe the rush people had if they were for the Saints last night in the big play. Everybody had the adrenaline. That's for acute stress, fight or flight. But for chronic stress that we have in our lives, the stress of getting up, going to work, raising a family, raising a husband, financial...
Raising a husband.
Isn't that true? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And financial loss of loved ones, family members, divorces, all these things cause stress in our lives. Allergies, chronic pain, injuries. They stress our adrenal glands, and our adrenal glands produce cortisol to overcome chronic stress. But as our adrenal glands become fatigued, they can't meet the demands of the body, and then we get very sick. And of course, it's like a domino. The adrenal glands produce cortisol, which affect the sex hormones, which affect the thyroid hormones, and so it's like a domino effect. One falls and the other begin to fall, and this happens.
You feel like you're useless.
Yeah, and this happens to women more than men in midlife because they have two hormones they have to balance with their sex hormones. And then after they have kids, that causes a tremendous amount of stress, having the births, then raising them. And so that adversely affects their thyroid function, and then they become, what kind of symptoms do they get? Well, they get chronically fatigued, they get anxiety, they get depression. They're
low libido.
Low libido, yes.
It evaporates.
Their menstrual cycles get out of balance. They get heart palpitations.
Yeah, reduced immunity is a big one because then you start getting all these other things on top of it.
They get infections, they get chronic allergies, and they just say, I'm sick all the time. And this is just a, and you go to the doctor, they do a blood test, they go, well, your blood's normal, therefore you must be what?
Yeah.
Hypochondriac.
Or depressed.
Yeah.
So they're going to put you on an antidepressant.
Because you don't have this particular disease.
And so they start giving you antidepressants, sleep medications, anti-inflammatories, blood pressure medication. You got to pop.
Well, that's when you start treating symptoms as opposed to the cause.
Symptoms.
Yeah, to try to put you out of your misery in some degree.
So what you want to do is address the underlying cause of the problem.
All right. So you found that the underlying cause with her was that stress on the adrenals and everything else, that domino effect you talked about. So how do you fix it?
Very simple. You replenish the hormones that your body is missing or that are declining. So we replenish with a little bit of physiological dose of cortisol. We support the adrenal glands. If you're still menstruating, with some progesterone. We add a little bit of thyroid. And so we balance out the hormones, and we simply raise their levels back up to optimal levels and balance them out so women feel well again.
All right, so did you think when you first heard this that it was going to work because you had gone to everybody else?
I was very desperate. Yeah. And if it didn't work, then I just didn't have any hope left.
Yeah.
And put it all, all my faith in it, and it worked. By the end of the first month, it was very, very noticeable. I just kept going and rebuilding my immune system, which absolutely came back. And now I'm in my 50s, and I feel.
And we said you have your
better.
groove back.
And how long ago did you come?
It was 10 years ago.
Wow.
It was August of
Wow.
of
So where
2000.
And we said, wait a minute, we said you got your groove back.
Well, I did.
Because you mentioned libido, and she was like,
that was, in your 30s and 40s, and wonderful family and husband, and just that's very important. And all I can say is peace was restored in the valley.
Okay, there you go. To find out how to restore peace in your valley, you can go to the Hotze Health and Wellness Center. You can call 281-698-8698, 281-698-8698, or log on to drhotze.com. And be sure to catch Dr. Hotze weekdays from noon to 1 o'clock on Radio 700 AM. Peace in the belly was restored. We'll be right back.